Cole, I want to. I'm going to pose you a very heady question here off the top, because it's how we kind of opened the show today. Malcolm Jenkins was talking on CNN, and he was kind of giving his perspective on the football season as it pertains to COVID. And he was saying that, he doesn't feel entirely comfortable if there wasn't something like a vaccine. He doesn't feel that he would be comfortable with playing, and he says that football is non-essential. And that's the question that I would pose to you. Is football non-essential in this country?
I think it depends on your context, but I think if we're just going to if we're going to break it down here and be as elementary as possible, I would say probably not. What would be? I mean, I would think that, fire, paramedics, police, food, those are going to be our essential businesses. I mean, we're not going to go much further past that if we're really going down to just the core of what it takes for us to survive on a daily basis. So I think contextually, it would depend on how you're looking at it and how you're stating it. The comfort level, I get it. That's going to be different. There's going to be college kids. We've already seen multiple NBA players for different reasons say that they're not going to go back to that bubble in Orlando. They're not going to play. They don't feel good about it, whether it's an underlying health condition with somebody at home or they're expecting a child on the way. There are a lot of different reasons that we've already seen, and that's okay, and that's fine. We'll see some of those in the NFL. We'll see some in college football. And we've heard multiple administrators at the collegiate level already come out and say that it's not going to impact their status moving forward. I do think that let's take the context a step further. And let's just say we're talking about, let's go past essential business and just say impactful business. Because I think there is a part of this that we do sort of lose sight of. I think we lose sight of how many people would be out of work if we didn't have football.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people in the general population that kind of say, well, these are athletes, these coaches, these athletes make a bunch of money. They'll be fine. They don't have to do this. First off, I don't think that is entirely accurate to begin with. I think there are a lot of athletes and coaches that need their paychecks.
Yep.
But I think when you continue to travel down that wormhole, it gets pretty tricky pretty fast. I'll just give you an example. Our television crew, we travel 45, 55 people a weekend.
Damn.
I think a lot of people think they got 3-4 cameramen, they got probably a couple tech guys and maybe 2-3 people in the truck. We travel 40, 50 guys a weekend. Now we're probably, if you went by average of all games, a little bit on the higher side. Now, Monday Night Football, the 2:30 CBS game, ABC primetime, they're probably, 65, 70 people. Monday Night Football is probably over 100, probably well over 100. So let's just say we're ballparking, between 45 and 50. How many games are broadcast each week? 60?
Yeah.
70 across all platforms? We're just talking college football now. We're not talking NFL. We're not talking high school. We're talking college football. So that begins to get a little bit busy when you're talking about the amount of people that aren't going to be working. Parking, concessions, security. You guys know that new game that all these college football programs play when the fourth quarter starts winding down and they run the security all the way around the entire field where people can't jump on the field after the game.
Yeah.
And then let's go a step further. What are the hotel staffs going to look like if there's no football? What are the bar and restaurant staffs going to look like if there's no football? Then you take it a step further and you say, well, if we don't have football, I can guarantee you guys this. There's a lot of these non-conference games that Power 5 schools have scheduled early in the season. People think that they're going to lose their season. That's false. They're going to lose their athletic programs, not just their football program, because we all know when football goes, volleyball goes, track goes, baseball goes, softball goes. They all go. Everything's gone when you lose football. So now we're talking about all those coaches, all those athletic trainers, all those administrators, all those directors of player personnel, all those tutors, all those academic advisors. They're all gone, all of them. So, and this doesn't include, we hadn't talked about the radio side of things. We hadn't talked about the people who work in the stadium, who do different things as far as logistics, seating, the paramedics. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I think when you start talking about, is it essential to our economy? Yeah, probably it is. To be perfectly honest with you, I think if we didn't have football, I think we'd see a lot more entities go out of business. And I think we'd see the unemployment rate spike again in the fall because of that.
Talking to Cole Cubelic here. I like how you framed that, Cole. Maybe not, in the strictest definition, essential but very impactful. And because of that impact, I do think that we were kind of going to find a level of acceptable risk, and that we'll get it in some form or fashion.
Let's be honest here, T-Bob. We had certain states in our great nation that listed bowling alleys and nail salons as essential businesses. I just think we have to be careful when we're actually using that term.
So Cole, yesterday we did a tier list ranking of the quarterbacks entering this system with S, A, B, C, D. When we sat here and we looked at all the quarterbacks and tried to see who belonged where, we ended up with Kyle Trask alone at the top tier. And not to say that he's necessarily an S-tier player, but in the context of the SEC, we didn't put anybody else in that category. Is that accurate? Do you disagree? Would you put somebody else in that top tier of SEC quarterbacks this season with Trask?
Are we comparing them are we just classifying the SEC quarterbacks?
Yes.
Or are we comparing them nationally?
No, this is just within the SEC. Because, nationally, he's not an S-tier quarterback.
Right. If we're just going SEC, I'm putting Kellen Mond there.
Wow.
I think he has the skill set. I think he has the talent, the ability, and I think there have been more times than not that he's shown he can be a really good football player. I think there are times that his offensive line, that his system, that play calling, different things like that have gotten him into a little bit of trouble or have not allowed him to be as successful. But I think that if you're just comparing him to the rest of the guys in the league, I would probably have Kellen Mond there. Having Trask a little bit ahead of him, I wouldn't have an issue with that. I'd be okay with that. But I think Mond has the ability, has the talent, and has put together enough good games to be worthy of that.
So in the next grouping, we check in with Bo Nix, Mac Jones, and KJ Costello. Would you throw anybody else into that B group? Bo Nix, Mac Jones, KJ Costello. Agree or disagree?
I don't have Bo Nix there yet, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I thought he digressed at the end of last season. I thought he really gave up on plays. And I'm not putting that on like his heart or his desire or anything like that, but I just think mentally he was going through things so quickly. He was bailing out on his protection. I don't think he was getting through his progressions the way that he needed to. I guess his comfort level was just gone. It just vanished towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have him there just yet. I think the ceiling is there, but I think he needs to improve a lot mentally and emotionally with just how he's handling things once the football is snapped. Mac Jones is a tough one, man, because, the kid's thrown for 300 yards in his last two games, and that was against a really good Auburn defense and a pretty good Michigan defense. So based on what they're going to be asking him to do, I might be all right with him sort of being on that tier 2.
Yeah.
I as much fun as I poke at it, I'll probably have Jamie Newman there. Tier 2
Really?
I'm fine with. It's the top 5 draft pick, most talented quarterback in the league, first round talent, comparing him to Cam Newton. Those are the things that I just don't like and I don't feel good about. But am I okay comparing him to Bo Nix? Yeah.
He did put up the exact numbers that Jake Fromm did, but with more picks and in the ACC. So I'm not fully on board with the Jamie Newman hype train just yet.
No, I'm not, and that's why I'm 100% not on board with it. And I think you were out one day when Jordy and I sort of talked about it, and I was telling him I can't handle it anymore. But if you're comparing him to the guys you're comparing him to, like I would take Costello over Jamie Newman. Costello I think has 8 300-yard games against Power 5 opponents.
Yep.
Jamie Newman does not have one. He has not thrown for 300 yards against the Power 5 opponent. So. And they're not going to – I don't think they're going to run the same kind of offense. People get a little carried away with, well, he didn't have any weapons. Look at the guys around him. His O-line actually protected fairly well. That little freshman tailback they have is pretty good. You go watch him. And they had 2 good receivers for most of the year and 1 good receiver after the other got hurt for a lot of the time. So, he wasn't as void of talent as some people believe. And who's he doing it against? You brought that up. I think that's the side of that. People want to have that one-sided discussion of, well, he didn't have anybody playing around him. Well, who is he doing it against?
Yeah.
Outside of when you play Clemson in that league, what's the other defense that scares you? Miami's going to be pretty good this year, but Virginia Tech might be okay. But you're not going against LSU, Florida, Bama, A&M. You're not going against those defenses each and every week. You're not. So I think that's sort of a double-edged sword when you're talking about what he did and didn't do based on what was around him.
Last one, Cole. Wrapping up with Cole Cubelic here on Off the Bench. Should Lane Kiffin be mad at Mike Leach for the mask pop?
No, I mean I don't think so.
You kind of big dogged him.
I
mean, it's fun and playful, but that's like a little bit like somebody rubbing your head. And I hate that. I hate that more than anything.
Based on what I've heard, those two guys, the way they've talked, I think they have the relationship where that's okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Now, if these were just two guys that didn't really know each other and hadn't had conversations before, I would say probably. But, I mean, I've heard Lane talk about Mike, and I've heard Mike talk about Lane. I think they have – I mean, it'd be like if you came up and rubbed my head, I'd be all right with it.
Yeah, you know? That's fair.
If some rando walking into the stadium does it, you're just gonna be a WTF. So it's a little bit different. So I think they have that relationship to where it's okay.
Either way, the Egg Bowl is going to be awesome this year. Cole Cubelic at Cole Cubelic on Twitter, a Peloton legend now. Cole, I don't know how you keep moving the bar up on that bike, but congrats to you. You are a maniac, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Well, we've been struggling here in the last 2 weeks. I'm telling you, solo with a 3-year-old and 5-year-old during the week by yourself, that'll drain your energy faster than 2 days in South Louisiana.
I'm about to potty train today, Cole. I'm starting on the journey today. Any tips for me? I know 31's a little late to learn how to use the bathroom, but I've decided it's finally time for me.
I would just say find a reward that they're into. Like I got, for some reason, mine thought these gummy worms that we have are the best thing ever, and so, you know, it was like, hey, I go, TT, get a gummy worm. And it's like, man, it's a damn gummy worm, but hey, I'm for it. You know, if you think that's that good, let's roll. Let's have at it. I tell you, the pandemic helped us out more than anything else.
Yeah,
we're just sitting at home, so it's, you know, every 10 minutes you gotta go potty. All right, good, let's go.
That's what we're about to do too, man.
So yeah.
All right. Well, Cole Cubelic, I love talking to you every Friday, man. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, fellas.
Take it easy, brother.